The American flag hung proudly from the porch, a symbol of the freedom her father had fought for in World War II. But as Sarah gazed out the window, she felt a growing sense of dread. The HOA president, Karen, was striding up the driveway, her mouth set in a thin, disapproving line. Sarah braced herself, knowing this confrontation had been inevitable. Since moving into the neighborhood, she had refused to take down the flag, despite Karen's constant nagging and threats. This was more than just a piece of cloth to her. It was a reminder of the sacrifices her father had made, a testament to the values he had instilled in her. With a determined stride, Karen marched up the porch steps and jabbed a manicured finger at the flag. "I've told you time and time again, Sarah. That flag violates the HOA's regulations. It's an eyesore, and it needs to come down immediately." Sarah's heart raced, her grip tightening on the windowsill. This flag belonged to my father, a war veteran. It's a symbol of everything he fought for, and I won't take it down just because you say so. Karen's eyes narrowed, her voice laced with venom. "I don't care about your father or your sentimental attachment. The rules are the rules, and you're going to follow them, whether you like it or not." "I won't," Sarah said, her voice firm. "This flag stays, and you can't do anything about it." Karen's face flushed with anger, and she leaned in, her finger now jabbing Sarah's chest. "Oh, I can, and I will. If you don't remove that flag by the end of the day, I'll have it taken down myself. And then I'll file a lawsuit against you for violating the HOA's covenants. You'll regret the day you crossed me, Sarah." With that, Karen spun on her heel and stormed off, leaving Sarah standing on the porch, her heart pounding. She knew Karen was serious. The woman had a reputation for being ruthless when it came to enforcing the HOA's rules. But this flag, this symbol of her father's sacrifice, was not something she was willing to give up without a fight. Determined, Sarah stepped out onto the porch, her eyes fixed on the flag. "I'm not going to let her take this away from me," she murmured, a steely resolve in her voice. "I'll do whatever it takes to keep this flag flying." Sarah spent the rest of the day on edge, her mind racing with thoughts of how to defend her father's flag against Karen's relentless assault. She knew the HOA president was not one to be trifled with, and that she would stop at nothing to enforce her will. As the afternoon wore on, Sarah paced the length of her living room, her eyes darting to the window every few minutes, half expecting to see Karen's smug face lurking in the shadows. The ticking of the clock only served to heighten the tension, each second bringing her closer to the deadline Karen had imposed. Finally, as the sun began to dip below the horizon, Sarah heard a knock at the door. Bracing herself, she pulled it open to find her neighbor, Jack, standing on the porch. "Hey, Sarah," he said, his brow furrowed with concern. "I heard about what happened with Karen earlier. I just wanted to let you know that I'm here for you, and I'll do whatever I can to help." Sarah felt a surge of relief, her shoulders slumping slightly. "Jack, I don't know what to do. Karen is threatening to take down the flag, and I can't let that happen. It's all I have left of my father." Jack reached out and placed a reassuring hand on her arm. "Don't worry, we're not going to let her win. I've been doing some research, and I think I've found a way to fight this." Sarah felt a glimmer of hope. "What is it?" "Well, it turns out that the HOA's regulations have a clause that allows for exceptions to be made for historical or sentimental reasons," Jack explained. "If we can make a strong case for the flag's significance, we might be able to get them to back off." Sarah felt a surge of gratitude, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "Jack, you're a lifesaver. I don't know how I can ever repay you for this." Jack shook his head, a warm smile spreading across his face. "Don't worry about it, Sarah. I'm just glad I can help. Now, let's get to work on this appeal before Karen comes back." With renewed determination, the two of them set to work, poring over the HOA's bylaws and gathering evidence to support their case. As the night wore on, Sarah felt a sense of cautious optimism begin to take root. Maybe, just maybe, they could find a way to keep her father's flag flying. The next day, Sarah and Jack presented their case to the HOA board, their hearts pounding with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Karen, her face a mask of barely contained fury, sat at the head of the table, her cold eyes fixed on the pair. "Well, well, well," she drawled, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Look who thinks they can just waltz in here and override the rules I've worked so hard to uphold." Sarah took a deep breath, her grip tightening on the documents in her hands. "This flag belonged to my father, a decorated World War II veteran. It's a symbol of his service and the sacrifices he made for this country. Surely you can understand the sentimental value it holds for me." Karen scoffed, rolling her eyes dramatically. "Sentiment has no place in this neighborhood, Sarah. The rules are the rules, and they apply to everyone equally." Jack leaned forward, his brow furrowed with determination. "But the HOA's own bylaws allow for exceptions to be made in cases of historical or sentimental significance. We've done our research, and we believe this flag qualifies." The HOA board members exchanged uneasy glances, clearly torn between their loyalty to Karen and the validity of the argument before them. Karen's eyes narrowed to slits, her voice dripping with venom. "If you think you can just waltz in here and play the sentimental veteran card, you're sadly mistaken. I won't allow this flag to remain, no matter what your precious bylaws say." Sarah felt her heart sink, her stomach twisting with a mixture of fear and anger. "You can't do this, Karen. This flag means everything to me. It's the last piece of my father I have left." "Well, then I guess you'll just have to learn to live without it," Karen sneered, her lips curling into a triumphant smile. The HOA board members shifted uncomfortably in their seats, clearly uncertain of how to proceed. Sarah could feel the tension in the room, the air thick with the weight of the impending decision. In that moment, Sarah knew she had to make a stand. Her father's sacrifice and the values he had instilled in her refused to be silenced. With a steely determination, she met Karen's gaze, her voice unwavering. "I won't back down, Karen. This flag stays, and you can't stop me." The HOA board members exchanged uneasy glances, the weight of the decision clearly weighing heavily on them. Sarah could feel the tension in the room, the air thick with the gravity of the moment. Karen, her face flushed with anger, leaned forward, her eyes narrowing to slits. "You think you can defy me, Sarah? This is my neighborhood, and I won't have you or your precious flag ruining the image I've worked so hard to maintain." Sarah straightened her shoulders, her gaze unwavering. "I'm not backing down, Karen. This flag means everything to me, and I won't let you take it away." Jack placed a reassuring hand on Sarah's arm, his voice calm and measured. "The HOA's own bylaws allow for exceptions to be made in cases of historical or sentimental significance. Surely you can see the importance of this flag to Sarah and her family." Karen's lips curled into a sneer. "I don't care about your sentimental nonsense, Jack. The rules are the rules, and I intend to enforce them, no matter what." The HOA board members shifted uncomfortably in their seats, clearly torn between their loyalty to Karen and the merits of Sarah's case. Finally, one of the board members, a middle-aged woman with a kind face, spoke up. "Karen, I understand your concerns about maintaining the appearance of the neighborhood, but perhaps we could find a compromise here. This flag clearly holds deep meaning for Sarah and her family. Couldn't we allow it to remain, at least on certain occasions?" Karen's eyes widened in outrage, her hands clenching into fists. "Absolutely not. I won't allow any exceptions, not even for your sentimental feelings. This flag comes down, and that's final." Sarah felt her heart sink, her eyes burning with unshed tears. "Please, you have to understand. This flag is all I have left of my father. I can't lose it, not like this." Karen's expression remained unmoved, her voice cold and unyielding. "I'm sorry, Sarah, but the decision has been made. If you don't remove that flag by the end of the day, I'll have it taken down myself, and you'll face the full legal consequences." With that, Karen stood up and swept out of the room, her heels clicking ominously on the polished floor. Sarah stared after her, a sense of dread and hopelessness washing over her. Jack squeezed her hand, his voice low and urgent. "Don't worry, Sarah. We're not giving up yet. There has to be a way to fight this." Sarah nodded, her resolve hardening. "I won't let her win, Jack. This flag stays, no matter what." As the sun began to set, Sarah stood on her porch, her eyes fixed on the flag that fluttered defiantly in the evening breeze. She knew that Karen would be true to her word, and that if she didn't take it down, the HOA president would have it removed by force. Sarah's heart raced, a whirlwind of emotions swirling within her. Anger, fear, and a deep sense of loss all threatened to overwhelm her. This flag was the last tangible connection she had to her father, a symbol of the sacrifice he had made for his country. And she wasn't about to let Karen take that away from her. Suddenly, a voice called out from the sidewalk. "Sarah, I've been looking all over for you." She turned to see Jack hurrying up the driveway, a determined look on his face. "Jack, what is it?" Sarah asked, her voice tinged with urgency. "I've been doing some more research, and I think I've found a way to fight this," he said, his eyes shining with excitement. Sarah felt a glimmer of hope ignite within her. "What is it?" "It turns out that the HOA's bylaws have a clause that specifically protects the display of flags, even if they violate other regulations," Jack explained. "As long as the flag is being flown for patriotic purposes, they can't force you to take it down." Sarah's eyes widened, a disbelieving laugh escaping her lips. "You're serious? This could actually work?" Jack nodded emphatically. "Absolutely. We just need to make our case to the HOA board again, and this time they'll have to listen." Without hesitation, Sarah pulled him into a tight hug, tears of relief streaming down her cheeks. "Jack, you're a genius. I don't know how I can ever repay you for this." "Don't worry about it," Jack said, his voice warm and reassuring. "This flag means as much to me as it does to you. I'm not going to let Karen take it away." The two of them hurried back into the house, already planning their strategy for the next HOA meeting. Sarah felt a renewed sense of hope, her determination stronger than ever. This flag was a part of her father's legacy, and she wasn't about to let it go without a fight. As they pored over the bylaws and gathered their evidence, Sarah couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude for having a friend like Jack by her side. Together, they would stand up to Karen and her HOA tyranny, no matter the cost. The next HOA meeting was tense, with Sarah and Jack presenting their case with unwavering determination. Karen, her face a mask of thinly veiled fury, sat across the table, her manicured fingers drumming impatiently on the polished surface. "We've already made our decision on this matter," she snapped, her eyes narrowing in Sarah's direction. "The flag has to come down, and that's final." Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for the confrontation. "I'm sorry, Karen, but you're wrong. According to the HOA's own bylaws, I have the right to display this flag as it's being flown for patriotic purposes." Karen scoffed, her lips curling into a sneer. "That's a load of nonsense, and you know it. This flag is an eyesore, and it has to go." Jack leaned forward, his voice calm and measured. "Actually, Karen, Sarah is correct. The bylaws specifically state that the display of flags for patriotic purposes is protected, even if it violates other regulations." The HOA board members exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions a mixture of uncertainty and unease. It was clear that they were caught between their loyalty to Karen and the strength of Sarah and Jack's argument. "This is outrageous," Karen exclaimed, slamming her hand on the table. "I won't allow this flag to remain, no matter what your precious bylaws say. It's an affront to the entire neighborhood, and I won't stand for it." Sarah felt a surge of defiance, her chin lifting defiantly. "Well, that's too bad, Karen, because this flag is staying. It's a symbol of my father's service and the sacrifices he made for this country, and I'm not going to let you take that away from me." The tension in the room was palpable, the air thick with the weight of the confrontation. Karen's face twisted with rage, her eyes burning with a dangerous intensity. "You think you can defy me, Sarah? I'll make your life a living hell if you don't take that flag down. I have the power to make your life a nightmare, and I won't hesitate to use it." Sarah met her gaze, unflinching. "I'm not afraid of you, Karen. This flag means too much to me, and I'm not going to back down, no matter what you do." The HOA board members shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their expressions a mixture of discomfort and uncertainty. It was clear that the decision was not an easy one, and that the impending fallout would be significant. Finally, the board president, a stern-faced man with a graying beard, cleared his throat. "After careful consideration, the board has decided to uphold the bylaw that protects the display of flags for patriotic purposes. The flag may remain." Karen's face twisted with rage, her eyes blazing with fury. "This is an outrage. I won't stand for this." Sarah felt a surge of triumph, her heart pounding with relief. "Thank you, Mr. President. I'm grateful for your decision." As Karen stormed out of the room, cursing under her breath, Sarah turned to Jack, a grateful smile spreading across her face. "We did it, Jack. We won." Jack grinned, pulling her into a warm hug. "I knew we could do it. Your father would be proud." Sarah felt a sense of peace wash over her, the weight of the conflict finally lifting from her shoulders. The flag would remain, a constant reminder of her father's legacy and the values he had instilled in her. And with Jack by her side, she knew that she could face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the days that followed, the tension in the neighborhood was palpable. Karen, her pride wounded, had not taken the HOA's decision lightly. She had threatened to sue the board, to file petitions, and to rally the other residents against Sarah and her eyesore of a flag. But Sarah refused to be intimidated. Emboldened by her victory, she stood tall, her father's flag fluttering proudly on her porch. She knew that this was more than just a battle over a piece of cloth. It was a fight for her family's honor, for the sacrifices her father had made, and for the values he had instilled in her. Jack remained by her side, a steadfast ally in the face of Karen's relentless onslaught. Together, they weathered the storm, weathering the angry glares and the whispered rumors that spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. Sarah knew that she had found a true friend in Jack, someone who understood the importance of this flag and who was willing to stand up for her, no matter the cost. As the weeks turned into months, the furor surrounding the flag began to subside. Karen's threats had lost their edge, and the other residents, once swayed by her vitriol, had come to see the flag for what it truly was, a symbol of the sacrifices that had been made to preserve their freedom. And so, the flag continued to fly, a silent sentinel that stood as a reminder of the enduring values of service, sacrifice, and patriotism. For Sarah, it was more than just a piece of cloth. It was a connection to her father, a legacy that she would continue to honor and protect, no matter the challenges that came her way. In the end, Sarah's victory was a testament to the power of determination, the strength of community, and the enduring spirit of those who have fought to defend the principles of freedom and democracy. It was a story that would be retold in the neighborhood, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the true spirit of America could never be extinguished. As the months passed, the neighborhood's initial hostility towards Sarah's American flag gradually began to shift. While Karen remained steadfast in her opposition, even she could not ignore the growing tide of support that had emerged for Sarah's cause. One by one, the other residents started to come around, drawn in by the quiet dignity and unwavering resolve that Sarah displayed in the face of Karen's relentless harassment. They began to see the flag not as an eyesore, but as a symbol of the sacrifices that had paved the way for their own freedoms. Sarah's story quickly became the talk of the community, with neighbors sharing it with their friends and family, and even local news outlets picking up the tale. Suddenly, what had once been a small, personal battle had become a rallying cry for those who cherished the values of patriotism and military service. Jack, Sarah's steadfast ally, became a local hero in his own right. His tireless research and unwavering support had been instrumental in the fight, and the community showered him with gratitude and respect. Neighbors who had once eyed him with suspicion now greeted him warmly, eager to hear the latest updates on the flag's status. As the anniversary of Sarah's father's service approached, the neighborhood decided to organize a special ceremony to honor the flag and those who had fought to defend it. The event was a resounding success, with veterans, active duty service members, and proud citizens alike gathering to pay their respects. Sarah, her eyes shining with tears of joy, stood alongside her father's flag, a living embodiment of the values it represented. In the end, the story of the American flag on Sarah's porch became a testament to the enduring power of community, the importance of standing up for one's principles, and the deep-rooted respect that Americans hold for their military service members and their families. It was a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the true spirit of the nation could never be extinguished. And as the flag continued to flutter in the breeze, a symbol of freedom and sacrifice, Sarah knew that her father's legacy would live on, inspiring others to fight for the values that he had held dear. It was a legacy that she would proudly carry forward, a testament to the enduring power of the American spirit.